Hello, gamers, and welcome to the Shackcast. This is episode 9 of the Shackcast. This is a show where we talk about video games, technology, gaming news, interviews, all sorts of stuff. It's a mixed basket. But today's topic, I wanted to talk about something more of sort of maybe a self help category here. I wanted to talk about motivation, having the proper mindset, and a positive outlook. And I'm going to relate this in sort of the streaming and gaming world, as it were, because I think that will be the easiest way to receive this information. And then, if you want to apply it to other aspects of your life, please go ahead. Um, so let's start with motivation because I think a lot of streamers, gamers, all sorts, uh, we struggle to motivate ourselves, whether it's hitting the go live button, creating new content. We're struggling, we're doubting ourselves. Being a musician, being an artist, being an entertainer, this is constant for me. So I either have to choose to live with that or find a way to adapt. And so my biggest thing is that I always look at the glass being half full, whether expectations are low, expectations are high, or something's not met, or if I'm not feeling great, I'm not feeling it, because definitely whether you're creating content, you're out there making
In just a
music,
few
you're
minutes, President
entertaining
Biden
people.
will make his way to Pittsburgh, where he'll unveil an.
Sorry, I had a news thing open. Um Got it. So yeah, whether you are creating content, you're entertaining someone, stuff like that, um, you want to either be on top of your game or at least capable of delivering what you're supposed to do. Um, so on to kind of the next thing that sort of elaborates on that is whoever is in your circle represents who you are. So if you have people in your circle that doubt you or that demotivate you or that bring you down, that's just going to add to your problems. If you have a circle of friends, accomplices, acquaintances, and such that are motivational, they're helpful, that support you in what you do, that makes your life, that makes your job easier. So if you're a streamer and you have a community behind you that they're just excited to see you out there crushing it and doing what you do best, then that's great. But if you have a community that's sort of like, "Oh, so you're not streaming today?" Like that gives you kind of the side eye there, like, that's like, "Oh, I guess you're lazy." Like, I guess, you just don't feel like doing it today, huh? So like that is all about setting expectations for others as well. And we have to do that no matter what we do. Whether you're working, whether you're a musician, you have to set those expectations, you have to set those boundaries. Because I will tell you from even the gaming streaming angle and also the musician angle, these are jobs, careers, hobbies that look like you're having fun at all times. If I'm practicing music, it looks like I'm having fun because I am, but it's also my job and I have to take it seriously. So when I am practicing, that is my mindset, is that I'm focusing on a task the same as someone might be sitting at their desk on 9 to 5 job, sitting there typing on their computer and filling out worksheets and stuff. I am doing in my mind the same thing, even though I might be laughing, I might be smiling, we might be having fun, we're rehearsing a song or something, or I'm playing a video game, I'm recording content, stuff like that. Just because it looks like I'm having fun at my job doesn't mean that it is not a job and that I'm not taking it seriously and such. So oftentimes, when I'm in practice mode and all these other things, I have to set boundaries, expectations, and stuff like that. Whether I'm practicing in a rehearsal space at a church or somewhere else, I have to let people know, hey, this is a practice zone. If you're coming in and interrupting and approaching me and stuff, we need to, I need to set proper boundaries and expectations around that because it does look like we're having fun while we're doing all that. And that's because it is a double edged sword. We are having fun. So that's kind of the other thing with self motivation. I always look forward to what I'm doing. Um, And so I'm always excited. I'm always having fun doing whatever I'm doing. So to me, it's not hard to get motivated. It's not hard for me to hit that go live button. I don't struggle with any sort of that type of stuff. Now, I did suffer from stage fright early on in my entertainment career, and it took a while to beat it. But ultimately, practice, being out there, putting yourself out there, and just facing those nerves, and then learning to harness that as adrenaline and use it to make a better performance, it comes naturally over time. And maybe some people aren't cut out for that, but I do think that it does take time, and nobody tells you that really. That it just takes time to overcome fears like that, and it's perfectly natural. Um, so yeah, make sure that you have people in your circle that are, think of them as your mastermind group, right? Like they are people that you go to when you need help. They motivate you, you motivate them. It's definitely a relationship where everybody benefits. It can't be a one-sided type thing when it comes to friendships and acquaintances and such. Um, I guess other things with maintaining motivation, proper mindset, positive outlook is that obviously you're going to get bad news at some point, whether it's a result of your job, it's maybe in the gaming streaming world, you're gonna hear about something that you don't like. Um, Oftentimes in the entertainment and music realm, oftentimes it's bad news will come in the form of, "Hey, we're not going to pay you what was agreed upon," or "Hey, we didn't think you did good at this, so we're not going to do this." Bad news often comes in the gaming and entertainment spaces, delays, or maybe you asked for a code for a game and you didn't get it. Um, Maybe you had certain expectations for a piece of content or a game and it didn't pan out. So yeah, you're going to receive bad news. And so I believe when you are, or at least when I'm receiving bad news, it's often the first reaction is to go to like an anger or just snap, and like probably want to shoot the messenger. And that's the important rule: don't shoot the messenger. Whoever is bringing you bad news, no matter the source or what it is, oftentimes they are just relaying the message. So getting mad at them or attacking them doesn't help your case at all. Um, but when receiving bad news, it's important to be calm under that, intense pressure and sort of, often the snap judgment is like, oh my gosh, how could they? How dare they do this to me? This is so upsetting. And, cooler heads prevail. And there's a reason why that's a saying. And it's because it's absolutely true. And every time that I've maintained calm and collected demeanor, I've been able to assess the situation, get all the details, figure out what's going on, and then move forward from there with all the information so that I do not make a snap judgment and then start burning bridges or have to make apologies and stuff for bad behavior, right? So you want to always have a calm and measured approach, whether it comes to, receiving bad news, good news, because sometimes good news is too good to be true sometimes, and so you need to also prepare for stuff like that. Make sure you have all the facts before you engage. So motivating yourself, having a proper mindset. I always have this good attitude. I always have a smile on my face a lot of the time. I love to laugh. So when I'm making music, when I'm creating content, entertaining others, I'm always laughing, and I always want it to be sincere because I am always having a good time, and I want to share that love with others. So that sort of feeds into my often positive outlook, even though it seems like I consistently uh, I'm always receiving bad news. It seems, but learning how to mitigate that and work with it is a whole other monster, and that can it can ruin your day, it can ruin your week, it can feed into your outlook on life and your attitude, and it sucks. But I feel like learning some of these different ways and just learning to accept that, sometimes this is the way things are. Sometimes you get some bad news and you're just like, "Ah, just deal with it, like someone's not going to pay me what we agreed upon or what was expected, or change of plans, you're not needed for such and such, or hey, this content here that you thought was fire actually didn't pan out, or hey, the numbers on your channel didn't pan out. We're not able to send you a code. You didn't meet our expectations. You have to look at all that. Don't shoot the messenger. It's not their fault. It's, oftentimes it's on you or it's on the person that is sending the messenger. So, keeping calm under pressure, I think, is very important because, and this leads into my next point. Don't feed the trolls. They are looking for a reaction. So this can apply in the gaming space, whether you have trolls in your chat or trolls in your gameplay session. They're speaking to you through your headset or whatever. Um, they're looking for a reaction. They're looking to provoke. They want to make people angry. They want to make people cry. Your boss might be doing the same thing. They might be looking for a reaction. They might be wanting to provoke you so that they have an instance to fire you, or they have causation to do whatever it is they're trying to do. So at times we have bosses that are quite nefarious, and they want to provoke you at every chance. So yeah, keep calm under pressure. Don't feed the trolls. It's very tempting to get mad when trolls say something or to have a big reaction. And at times it can be funny to throw off a joke at a troll and then ban them, or whatever it may be, if you have that type of control. If you can remove yourself from the situation, that's good. But the best thing is to not feed the troll, do what you have to do, whether it's banning the person or removing yourself from the situation if it's in real life, and then move on. Like it didn't happen. Shrug it off, laugh, and move on. Get back to what you were doing. Don't let it sour the entire experience, right? Because that is the best medicine. If they are instantly forgotten, they will give up. They will not care anymore. And that's the best way to handle that. The next thing sort of relates, it can relate to all things in life, but curating your social media feed, curating your Twitch and YouTube playlists, whatever content you see on a regular basis, you want that to feed into your positivity. You want that all to be stuff that you like. You want it to be helpful, things like that. Um, if you're seeing lots of things in your feed, let's take Twitter for instance, and it just feels like everything is something you want to jump in and argue about, whether it's politics or like, this game's better than that game, or this streamer said this and it's unacceptable, and we all need to get in and argue. I have pulled back on how much I jump in and argue. If I have something meaningful I can provide and quickly move on, I will do that. But I'm not going to jump into a thread and start arguments with random strangers for hours and hours. Um, at times you do look for feedback and you do want to have discussions and stuff, but I just personally don't think Twitter and its limited character count is the place to go back and forth with people. I think it's better to have it in a voice based discussion or a Discord conversation or a longer text format. But a lot of the times, I'm really not looking to go out and convince people of my political leanings or of you know what I feel about the console wars, which I don't take sides. I enjoy all the consoles, all the platforms, and I play all the games, and I'm the winner in that situation. So curating your feed, making sure that that content is stuff that you want to see. It's very easy to do. If you see something you don't like, block, ban, mute. If there's a certain phrase you don't like or something you don't like seeing, you just need to mute that content or get that creator out of your feed. If you're following streamers or if you're getting recommendations in Twitch or YouTube feeds, and it's stuff you don't like. Like if there's stuff, my feed is very simple. A lot of stuff is gaming related. Oftentimes, it's like people giving you tips on games, or I'll see like guitar videos of like people testing out new gear, or like giving tips on how to be a better guitar player and stuff. But if I'm scrolling through and all of a sudden I see like something that's like just something that I don't like maybe something's pornographic in nature or something that seems lewd or obscene, then I'm like, oh, I don't like this in my feed. Or if I see something that's like really politically just like way outside of like conspiracy theory, like flat earther stuff comes up in my feed, I immediately let YouTube, Twitter, all these sites know, hey, I don't want to see this. This is not for me. You know, they are trying their best to feed you content that they believe you will like. But this contributes to your mindset, right? Because you're scrolling through your feed, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all this stuff, and you're trying to keep up with all this content, you don't need to see things that you don't want to see. And if you curate that content, these algorithms will do a better job of feeding you content that you would like to see that might actually boost your mindset, might get you in a more positive outlook, and get you to where you have a good flow and you're able to be as productive as possible. So, along with curating the feed, and let me take a sip here. Along with curating the feed, you should ignore bad content and move on. So much like feeding the trolls and just moving on immediately from that situation. If there's bad content, something that, sparks anger or whatever, if you don't feel like you need to comment on it, or if you feel like it's going to just feed into, yeah, like just don't, just move on. it's it's not, I see something in my feed that I don't like. I just keep scrolling, or I remove that from my feed and I say, oh, okay, I don't like this. So like I'm a big fan of comic books. So if I see someone just outright, hot take dissing something that like without any like actual integrity or like a point, if they're just like DC Comics sucks, I'm like, okay, well, that's your opinion, but I don't need that in my feed. If you want to say why, or and we want to have like a discussion or something, or if there's like a reason behind it, okay, that's fine. Maybe I want that in my feed, but for the most part, I don't want things that are super negative and just things that I just don't agree with, right? Like I don't think either comic organization sucks. I love what everyone's putting out. I love that there is such a broad category of stuff out there for me to consume. So I'm not complaining. Stuff may not suit my taste, but that is fine. That's always fine. So yeah, this has been Shackcast episode 9, talking about motivation, having the proper mindset, a positive outlook, motivating yourself, having the glass half full approach, making sure that your circle is a representation of who you are. So you should always curate who's in your circle. Taking bad news, not shooting the messenger, keeping calm under pressure, not feeding the trolls, not letting them have a reaction, moving on as quick as you can from that situation, recovering and getting back to what you should be doing. Curating your feed, whether it's social media and videos and stuff, and ignoring the bad content, moving on. And I mean, honestly, if there's something you learn from all of this stuff, it's just try to be positive. Enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying it, maybe you should be doing something else. Maybe you should take a different approach into what you're doing and find the joy in that. So I'm Aaron Shack64. You can catch the Shackcast in its video form on YouTube. You can catch audio forms on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I want to thank you for listening and or watching. You can find me on youtube.com/Aaron Shack64. That's AARON SHACK 64. I'm always creating content over there, and you can leave comments down in the feed there. give us a like, and we'll see you next time. Take care.